Assalamu alaikum. Hope you are all doing fine. The interaction between two charges is found with the help of Coulomb's law. But what is the reason for interaction between the charges? We'll get the answer for this question in the video. I'll perform one simple experiment to get the answer. Here, I have one transparent ball. It is filled with styrofoam balls. It is also called as thermocol balls. What I do now, I take this PVC pipe, I rub this with a woolen cloth. By doing so, it gets charged. If you do not have a woolen cloth, you can also make use of tissue paper. Just rub this for some time. Now, I bring it close to this transparent ball. You can see, when it is kept here, nothing happened to the styrofoam balls. When I bring it close, you can see the movements in the styrofoam balls. As I bring it close, the movement increases. The more number of styrofoam balls are getting attracted. When it is very close, the large number of balls have got attracted towards the charged PVC pipe. Now when I move it back, the styrofoam balls are seen to be moving towards their initial position. I repeat this again. On the left side, I charge the PVC pipe. Now I keep it towards the left side. You can see from one particular point, from here, the styrofoam balls are experiencing force. You can see they are getting attracted. This region around the charged PVC pipe, or the region around a charge, in which if you bring another charge, it will experience force of repulsion or attraction. We call that region as electric field. This can also be observed with the help of, this can also be demonstrated with the help of this simple setup. Here, I take one straw. I rub this straw with a tissue paper or woolen cloth. I use tissue paper. I rub it for some time. So I am charging the straw. Then I pivot this on the tip of the pencil. This manner. There is a hole here. I pivot this. Then I take this PVC pipe. I charge this with the tissue paper. In the similar way. Then I bring it close. Now both the PVC pipe as well, the straw have same charge. You can see they repel each other. Now when it is brought to a certain distance, from then it starts experiencing some force. This region around the PVC pipe or the straw is referred as electric field. In that area, if you bring any object, it will experience the force of attraction or repulsion. We call it as electric field. Let me explain it theoretically. Electric field means the space around a charge in which when you bring another charge, it experiences a force of attraction or repulsion. Electric field is represented by the letter E, and it is a vector quantity. The vector quantity. So we use this notation. It's a unit. It's something like Newton per coulomb. Why is it so? Let me explain you. Suppose here I have a charge. I have a positive charge. I name this one as a Q. Positive charge Q. I bring a point charge, very small charge known as a test charge Q naught. The purpose of this charge is to find out the presence of electric field around this positive charge. Suppose these two are separated by a distance of r. R is the distance between them. Then according to Coulomb's law, Coulomb's law says that the force of attraction or repulsion between two charges is F vector is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Here first charge is q, another charge is q naught upon r square r cap. Here r cap is the unit vector that lie between q and q naught. Here there is a force acting between these two that is given by this equation, and electric field will be acting in this direction, denoted by letter E vector. In case of positive charge, electric field always act away from it, whereas in case of negative charge, then we will find I take this point where the test charge is placed. Here electric field will act towards the negative charge. Need to remember this point. Now from this setup, what will be the electric field? Let me tell you, electric field E vector will be nothing but force acting per unit charge. This is the definition of a electric field. Now from this, F vector will be equal to E vector Q naught. Now we are aware of the fact that force is measured in Newton. Newton is the unit of force, and charge is measured in Coulomb. So this is the unit of electric field. This can also be written in this way, Newton per Coulomb. I hope you have understood how we get the unit of electric field. Now if we substitute the value of F in this equation, what do you obtain? Here, this is obtained this manner. E vector will be equal to, in the place of F, I write its value from the previous equation. There is nothing but 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q into Q naught upon R square R cap into 1 upon Q naught. Here Q naught and this Q naught get cancelled, and the final expression for electric field obtained to be equal to this. E vector equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square R cap. This is the final expression of electric field. I box this. I hope you would have understood. Let us discuss the important aspects of electric field. Here the word aspects means nature or quality. As I told you earlier, if we have a positive charge, the electric field produced by positive charge always acts away from it. Remember this? This is the electric field produced by positive charge. The similar way, the electric field produced by a negative charge always acts towards it. Second, the force acting on the test charge is given by this expression. F is equal to E vector into Q naught. Here Q naught is the magnitude of test charge. The test charge that we use to detect the presence of electric field around any charge is very small in magnitude. And the second thing, it is always positive in nature. You remember this. Another thing you need to remember about the electric field is it is always independent of test charge and it depends only on the charge which has produced it. Suppose we have a charge Q. Now I bring a test charge Q naught to study the electric field of this charge. Then, according to Coulomb's law, I get this expression. F vector equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught upon R square R cap. Then electric field from this expression will be obtained as a F vector upon Q naught. That will be equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R square R naught. Now this shows that electric field depends only on the charge, the magnitude of the charge. It doesn't depend on the test charge. And one more thing, when we take the test charge to find the electric field present around any point charge, care must be taken that the size of test charge must be smaller than the magnitude of the charge we study. And next thing is very important thing to be noted. Suppose you have a positive charge. You have a positive charge and you take 3 different points. Point P, point Q, one more point R. I have taken 3 points P, Q and R. So I connect this positive charge with this 3 points from its center. Now when I connect the positive charge to point P, Q and R, you will observe that the distance is different. I take this distance between positive charge and the point P as RP. This distance as RQ. This distance as R capital R. Now in this way, the electric field according to the first point, as this is the positive charge, electric field will be acting away from it. Am I right? So this is the electric field produced by a positive charge at this point, EP. And this is the electric field produced by positive charge at point Q. I take it as EQ. And here, this is the electric field produced by positive charge at point R. Here. If you observe these 3 lines which represent the electric field produced by positive charge at point P, Q and R, you will find the magnitude, the length is different. Here, EQ have highest magnitude. Then next one is EP. The least magnitude is for ER. So it is written this way. And it shows that according to this expression, electric field is inversely proportional to square of distance. As we go away from the charge, the magnitude of electric field decreases. So ER is lesser than EQ and EP. I think you would have understood. If I take a negative charge, in the place of positive, if I take negative charge, then we need to take EP in the reverse direction. It must be acting towards the negative charge. In similar way, EP will act towards the negative charge. This is EQ. And ER will also be acting towards the negative charge. No, you need to remember this. And the same thing we follow here as well. This expression also yields one more point, that it is valid. The expression is valid only for point charges. Only for point charges. It means it is not valid for continuous charges. For continuous charges, we have got a method called as a integration method. God willing, we are going to learn about that in the next topic. We can broadly classify electric field into two by keeping all these things in mind. We classify electric field into uniform and a non-uniform electric field. Non-uniform electric field. What is the difference between them? There is a small difference present between uniform and a non-uniform electric field. First is electric field being a vector quantity. It has got both the magnitude and the direction. If both magnitude and direction remains the same at any given point, then we call such a electric field as uniform electric field. Here both magnitude and direction remains constant at any given point. Whereas in case of non-uniform electric field, either magnitude or direction will change at any given point. And in some cases both varies. Such electric fields are referred as non-uniform electric field. I hope this video is useful. If you have any kind of doubt related to the topic, kindly put your question in the comment section. And thanks for watching.